Hello everyone, hello John Jay. I'm Shaheen Wallace, Student Council President, and we're here again with President Travis to discuss matters of grave importance. Money. Now, President Travis, as many of us know, and for those who don't, some of our money that comes to John Jay comes through the state. But exactly how is the budget determined?
Well, you're right in saying that it comes from the state. Most of the budget of John Jay, most of the budget of the university is provided by tuition. Some of it is provided by money provided directly by the state. But when you pay your tuition, it goes into an account in the state and then comes to the university, and then the money in turn comes to John Jay. So if our enrollment goes up, then our budget goes up as well. We also raise money privately from foundations and philanthropists, but the bulk of our budget comes from the state, and the bulk of that money comes from student tuition.
I heard you say that enrollment is a part of the budget process. Now, with discontinuing the associate degree program and the loss of those students, has that impacted our budget any at all?
Well, in fact, when we started 3 years ago now to phase out the associate degree enrollments, we did some projections based on our enrollment history, and we determined that we thought we'd be able to keep enrollment pretty steady, even though we phased out that program and registered students in the community colleges. And in fact, we've been able to do that. And in fact, this year our enrollment went up, which we hadn't expected, just because of the strength of student interest in coming here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It is my belief that there's going to be a $53 million cut to budget cuts at CUNY. I want to know, what's your take on that?
Well, your belief is correct. Governor Patterson, several months ago, in announcing some preliminary cuts in the state budget, said that the City University of New York would take a $53 million cut, and that has now been ratified by the state legislature. So that cut has been distributed to the college campuses. But the good news here is that the university did not have to distribute all of that cut to the college campuses. So at John Jay, we early in the year, just as a hedge against this possibility, reduced our budget by $1.2 million. Some of that now will be restored, so it won't be quite that severe. But we're in for a time when our budget will be very tight, and we have tightened our belts this year in many ways to accommodate that cut to the university's budget.
Now, budget cuts will generally mean tuition increases to close gaps. If this is true, are there measures in place for the government or the state to help students deal with the economic crisis?
I'm very proud of the fact that our university this year set aside some money coming out of the tuition increase that the students are paying to help students meet some of the exigencies that come from our being in a very difficult financial time. So our students struggle. A lot of families have difficult choices to make between rent and tuition and food on the table and the like. So we set aside this year money for financial aid, for work-study jobs, to a very successful program to buy textbooks and place a textbook for every course on reserve in the library, so students who couldn't afford to buy the textbook would be able to get the library version of it on reserve. So some of the money has been set aside at the university and at the college level to help students get through this very difficult time. In addition to that, the tuition increase was pretty substantial last year, 15%. So that tuition increase has also helped us to make some investments in faculty, in counseling services, in academic advisement. So even in these difficult times, we've been able to make some investments in things that are direct benefit to students because they're paying additional tuition.
Now, during these difficult times, often difficult decisions need to be made. And I know this is a question that is on the mind of faculty all throughout the school. How concerned do they need to be about job security?
Right. Our core enterprise here is classroom instruction. And to have first-rate classroom instruction, we want to have faculty who are the best that we can hire here, and we want to be able to keep our very good faculty. So I've placed a priority on maintaining full-time tenure-track faculty, recruiting them, and we're even keeping some searches, many searches open for next year. So we want the classroom experience and the the experience you have with faculty outside the classroom, working in their labs, working in their research projects, mentoring, academic advisement, that has to be first rate. So that's been my priority. So the investment that we've made in new faculty, we've increased our faculty by 33% over the past 5 years, which is a significant investment. We will keep that investment program going.
Final question. So in this economic crisis, how exactly is John Jay managing compared to the other CUNY schools and to the other state schools in general?
Well, if you look across the country, you'll see a lot of state universities that are struggling. The University of California, which used to be the flagship university for the country, is in a serious financial crisis. They're approaching layoffs or actually furloughing professors, cutting services, raising fees. There are student protests against that situation in California. Right across the river, Rutgers is going through a very difficult time. So as a general matter, public higher education is having a very difficult time. That is not true at CUNY. That's not true at John Jay. So we're continuing to make investments. Granted, we're cutting costs, we're creating vacancies, we're not filling positions, we're not making purchases where we don't have to. But we're trying with considerable success to maintain the forward momentum of the university and the college. We have a greater demand than ever from students to come to John Jay for the high quality education we provide. They are making sacrifices to get that education, and we're keeping our commitment to our students to provide that first-rate education.
Thank you, President Travis, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Stay informed. Take care.